Welcome to Gunners Are Us. We are positively Arsenal.
Sorry, I took a sip of coffee right at the wrong time there.
That's right. You go for that coffee right now.
Yeah, I'm going to sip this, the official drink of Arsenal beverage.
Every single week he's going to say this. And Simon.
Do we say the name, or do we have to wait for they sponsor us first?
I think we have to wait for.
Yeah, we'll wait till KSI reaches out.
I've got a Meta Moon flavor here that Joe brought me as well.
Yeah.
It's becoming a
Meta Moon.
It's called Meta Moon. It sounds. Do you know what it tastes like? Those jelly beans. You know, like I think they're coconut, but they're like the see-through-y kind of white.
It was like when you went to the cinema and you got or Blockbuster in the day, and you got the weird flavored jelly beans, and you had to guess what they were.
I never liked those.
Oh,
Simon, here's the thing: you're not going to like Prime.
Yeah.
Sorry, KSI and Logan Paul, you're out. You're done.
No, but no, obviously, the last episode that went up was a couple weeks old. It finally went up. We had a couple of issues, a little bit of technical issues, which it wouldn't be a podcast without. So we're now officially, this should go up either today or tomorrow.
Heck yeah.
I'm still giving it the 24 hours because I'm so scared of what's going to happen. But I've got a feeling I should be able to edit this and get this up directly after. So guess what? We're going to talk about what happened last week.
Yeah.
And what's coming up next week. And it's actually going to be of time.
Double the content.
That's good. The first episode is still there. If you want to get our pre-season thoughts and predictions, you can. See, a podcast is everlasting.
Yeah.
Like, who was everlasting? Mumra? Was that right?
Mumra!
Was he the everlasting? I can't remember. Anyway, it would be like Mumra or something.
When you said everlasting, for whatever reason, all that came to my head was Luzhny. And I don't know why.
Oh!
There's absolutely no reason for that.
Dude.
He does seem everlasting.
It's certainly more on brand.
Good way to bring it back to Arsenal as well.
It was. But we haven't got a visual of this podcast yet. That will be coming because that'll be up on a YouTube somewhere. I'm actually wearing a SummerSlam 92 shirt. And I feel like because of our wrestling, world.
Apropos.
Meeting our football world, Joe's wearing an old school Arsenal shirt.
Every week I'm going to be wearing a classic shirt, but you won't be able to see it just yet.
But because I'm wearing that, Tony Khan, Fulham owner, AEW owner, he's going to Wembley. Simon, are you going to Wembley? This is the question.
Yes, no, I'll definitely be there. Yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah. Because this is a big show. This is a big deal. Like Wembley, obviously, England's football ground. We've got AEW going there.
Yep.
This is going to be, something else. I don't know what Tony Khan's got planned. Maybe I'm thinking, am I Traore going?
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe Mitrovic would have been in a match, but obviously it's subject to change as he's going to Saudi Arabia. Yeah. But I don't know. It's a big show. I just thought it's worth mentioning because it's.
I think so. Absolutely, and it's really cool, just in general. And also they've broken the. There's going to be more paid people at that wrestling event than any other wrestling event in history.
Yeah,
which is quite a thing. I'm just excited to be a part of it. Like you say, I've been to Wembley for football stuff.
Yeah.
So to get to go there for a wrestling event, especially one of this magnitude, and I think the vibe is going to be really good as well. I think there's going to be a lot of
bit of a party.
It'll probably be better than football matches actually to tie it in, because obviously you usually go to a final at Wembley, so everyone wants to kill each other. I don't think that's going to be the case with this, so it could actually be a better experience.
Well, it's history. They're making history this weekend. I mean, I had a chat. We got a good friend at the Daily Mail. And they're going to cover it, and he was asking me a lot of questions about it because he's interested, more based on coming from the historical standpoint of wrestling. But obviously, this being the most historic show in a long time on our land, he's going to cover it, and he was asking me some things. And I said they sold a massive amount of tickets just based off of no matches, essentially. So.
It's crazy, but no, I mean, I can't wait to watch it. I won't be there just because we're in Wales. I think I would have traveled, but I've recently traveled to London a few times. I thought, do you know what? I don't fancy another trip, but I'm definitely gonna be watching. Definitely gonna be supporting to see what happens. But it'd just be nice to see.
I will be there.
Yeah,
I'll be representing for the Gunners Are Us podcast.
And we'll look forward to in amongst the sea of Simon Miller signs. You usually see at an AEW event. We'll see maybe a Gunners Are Us sign.
Yeah. Get this on camera, damn it.
But to swing that all the way into just last week's Premier League action, we'll start with Fulham.
Yep.
I literally, as I said it, I couldn't remember what happened with Fulham, but do you remember?
Yeah. They had a very solid game. Was it Everton?
Everton was the week before. They won one and then they lost one.
Yeah,
they lost two.
They lost the weekend. Yeah, they got. Didn't they get whooped like 4-0 or something?
They did. This is
which is really confusing considering how they
really good football fans. People listening, look at us. Look at our on-tap knowledge that we have. It's just there.
I really wanted to start with Fulham because of the AEW connection, but
I was kind of hoping they'd have a strong start. Like having a mixed bag start like that going into our game next week is kind of confusing because I mean they've looked like a solid team since they came back up.
Yeah, they lost 3-0 to Brentford.
That's right.
At home, at Craven Cottage.
That's
crazy. Wissa, I don't know him. Wissa from Brentford, Mbui, and Mbui got 2. So yeah, there you go.
I tell you what, and if anyone's listening and they're interested in fantasy football, getting Wissa and Mbemo in your team now, because over the first 2 weeks of the season, they both got 5 collective goals.
Well, even last season, Mbemo was always in my team.
Yeah, and they've got 7 goals or assists between the 2 of them.
Yeah,
there you go. They're a good team, Brentford.
They could tail off. But no, Brentford looked very good. But another team I wanted to quickly talk about, because I think last time we spoke on the pod, we didn't get too deep into it, was Brighton. We mentioned that they're going to be good. And we all went for a Brighton win, except for one Simon Miller, because they were against Luton 2 weeks ago.
That's right. That's right. And I stand by it. Do you know what, actually? I watched that game. Luton weren't as bad as the scoreline represented. They just lacked an experience. They lack Premier League depth. They're actually sorting out, to be fair. They just bought Tim Krul from Norwich. Actually, a really good signing. I think
that's a good signing.
He'll shore up things. But on the flip side to that, Brighton, I don't mean this in the way that it sounds, but you know how, football likes to sort of recreate stories. I actually think Brighton could be us of last year. Genuinely. I don't see them slowing down after watching those 2 games. And I don't understand why Liverpool and Chelsea keep buying their players. Just go and buy their scouting network. It will cost you probably half the amount of money. Like this guy they're about to buy now, I can't remember who it is now, but it's some Brazilian dude. It's like, just everyone go buy him now for 25 million. Trust me, he'll be really good. Like he just will be.
I'm desperate with these docs that we get now on Prime and stuff. I am desperate to get my hands on a Brighton doc because I want to know from the back room to the pitch how they run that place. Because no matter how they do business, football wise, everything is always so good and so solid since they've come up. They've just got better and better, and they've now got a manager who I think could be world class.
I think he'll take Pep. I think he'll take Pep. Yeah. And also, people keep saying, "Oh, this is what Southampton used to do." Look, no, I like Southampton as a football club. They never did anything like this. They weren't going out there and battering teams ever. Not in this sense where you just watch it and go, the other team has 0 chance. Yeah. So I actually think this could even be more. I mean, it depends on their succession plan. But I actually think it could be more domineering than what Leicester did. I'm not saying they're going to win the Premier League, but I think they're actually going to shift their way into the top 6. That doesn't exist anymore. The top
9 now,
Yeah, but I think what they'll do is, as opposed to Leicester, who obviously now find themselves hitting reset again, I think Brighton could be the team that, they do it. They take, Chelsea at the moment are not very good. Tottenham actually look better, which I hate, but they do. But I still don't think they're at that level. So I think while you've got all these teams in a state of flux, I think Brighton could actually go, no, bam, we're here now. And then when they do get there, if they get in European football every single year, then they can keep the recruitment up. And that's it. You're done for at least 5-6 years, which is an amazing achievement.
You got to think as well, Brighton have got not just the best winger in the league, but maybe the best winger of all time. So this is not my opinion.
This is it Karen Kearney?
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah.
Everyone was moaning at her. I was like, hyperbole all the time. All the time. Best winger ever.
And swinging it back to fantasy football, Mitoma is a great one to have as well. Brighton players in general, Estepinian as well. Like they've got some good fantasy players.
Yeah, we were both taken aback by your pronunciation of that player. It was very good.
Genuinely, I think you could make a case for him being the best winger of the people that no one talks about, like in history. Do you know what I mean? They're always players. They're like, why do we just ignore this human being for some reason? I think you could put him in that category and put him at number 1. Obviously, he needs to do it for another 3, 4, 5 years. But so far, he's kind of been faultless.
Really, well, Trossard was that.
Trossard
was that player. Like Trossard was the one I'd always look at Brighton and go, if only we could have that player. Like he was always a good fantasy player, good in the league. I just wanted him, and Mitoma is going to be that guy. I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You were saying about them. Why don't they just buy their scouting system? Someone brought up a thing the other day. I think they're closing on $1 billion spent in the last, I think it's 14 months or something. Chelsea. Apparently, they could have bought Brighton for less than what they've spent, which is just crazy.
They definitely could have bought Luton about 20 times over, at least.
But swinging it back to Luton as well, though, their games are exciting.
Yeah, they're going to be. I think this year it's going to be
a fun watch.
Good coverage on television. I'll just say that.
they're not getting dragged into the nonsense either. They're going to play Championship football in the Premier League. You can see that. They just got the ball and booted it. Like, that's what they did. They was like, all right, that's what we're going to do.
They're not going to try and play out from the back.
Yeah, and don't forget, Barkley didn't play. He hadn't signed the last time we did the podcast, did we? No. Like, I think the thing with Barkley is if he has a great season, it's great, but then he'll leave. That's the point, right? It's like a platform for him to do it. But then if he sucks, it doesn't help Luton anyway. So I really hope he just bosses that whole team, as he should do. He should be the captain, really. Yeah. And then that cements them in the league, and then he can go do whatever he wants. But look, I'm not saying they're not going to... I would imagine that 17th would be there winning the Premier League. But I think they can do it because I think some teams are going to go to Kenilworth Road and just not know what to do.
Yeah,
but they're playing Chelsea on Friday at Stamford Bridge, so we'll see. We'll see.
I'm excited that match. We're going to get to our predictions at the end of this, but I mean, that match excites me. I'm going to definitely watch it just because the idea of just this Luton going to that kind of Chelsea team that are they're clearly going to be good. Chelsea. It might take a few years.
Yeah.
But they're not good enough yet, and they can easily get rattled. And I could see a couple big tackles, that team just folding. And I'm really excited about seeing it.
Speaking of Kenilworth Road as well, I think come the end of the season with these postponed games backing up, I think that's a good way to cement yourself in the Premier League later on in the season when you found your footing and you've got to play these games in hand.
Yeah,
like that could come back into play a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening
as well?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Burnley switch their fixture? Said no. What do you mean no?
Yeah.
Just do it. That's ridiculous. I
can't believe
Turf Moor.
The last season we had the World Cup, we had all, and then COVID before that. We had all these games stacking up. No one ever played the same amount of games all season. And then this year you think, all right, first year it's just a clean year, and then week 2 game postponed. And I was like, oh my god, we're going back in time. Like,
and that ruins accumulators as well. I want 3 p.m. kickoffs. The only way to do an accumulator. I need 3 p.m. kickoffs.
So I thought City this week did look. They look jaded, but as calm as you can look when jaded. So they're against Newcastle. Clearly, Newcastle. We all had Villa, by the way, beating Newcastle week 1.
Yeah,
we were so wrong on that. Like Newcastle looked unreal.
They're solid.
And they went there, and I think Newcastle played at City how we tend to play at City, which is almost nervous of the whole occasion.
Yeah.
And that played into City's hands because City just, as classic City, robotic, just kept the ball. And it was almost like, Pep did a circle of the pitch to kind of say to the crowd, like, I don't know, stick with us, all this kind of stuff, because he seems to play the underdog for some reason.
Yeah.
And he was almost an aggressive possession. Like he was going, we got a goal. Let's just be as boring as possible and prove that if you play every couple days, the games will get worse, because he's obviously got an issue with fixture build up and all this stuff. It's almost like he said to them, make this game as bad as possible, because I don't think I've seen a game that bad.
Yeah.
It was so boring to watch. It was hard to watch, especially on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock, because it is an odd time. But they do look worryingly comfortable against potentially one of the best 4 teams in the league. So
I think the other problem is as well, usually they warm up. Do you know what I mean? Usually they're actually a bit rubbish for the first. Usually they get
slow
to Christmas.
starters.
Oh, here we go. Whereas now they've lost players. I think they bought so late, and they're still buying. Obviously, they just bought that dude from
Doku. Is it?
Yeah. Where did he come from? I can't remember where he came from, but
he looks good.
He does look good, and they want someone else as well. I can't remember. So when those players bed in as well, and they get pepped, I think it's worrying. I think they probably will do 4 in a row, which is absolutely obscene. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Almost half a decade of winning Premier League.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was the same thing. And I actually agreed with, I usually don't, but I actually agreed with Guardiola this time. You didn't have to put that match on Saturday. Like, there's just no need. They're playing in the middle of the week. Just shift it. No one actually cares anymore. They just don't. Yeah. So, but it's going to take something special. It's going to take real consistency from any other team. I don't think you're going to be able to slip up even now, which is kind of terrifying when you think about it. But I would imagine if I was going to bet on it, 2 games I think they'll lose max throughout the whole season. I just
hope they draw some with fixture build up or something. I hope they just draw enough, because you remember, I think it was Liverpool about 15 years ago, they lost maybe 1 game, but they came second, and it's because they drew like 16 games or something like that. So that's our only hope. And teams like Brighton obviously actually turning up against teams like City, and if they give them something, like Newcastle at St James's Park could be a whole different story.
Talking of that, like, because we're watching the Newcastle doc on Prime at the minute, because we do have a slight connection with Newcastle, because half our family's from Newcastle. So I like to keep an eye on it, and I'm very excited by the new Newcastle. Like I don't like it so much when people get taken over and it becomes a bit too much, but I like the way they're gradually building with their signings. I like that, like we said, watching the first episode of the doc, I hope when Tonali turns up at St. James's Park, he understands immediately, because he seemed to not understand at the start why he was there.
Yeah.
But when they turned up for that first game at St. James's, the owners put on such a show with the entrance of the players. There was music playing, flags, fire. You could see it in Tonali's face when he was walking out.
Like,
how this is right. And then that first game obviously went the way it did. So he clearly understood very quickly. And he understood so much that he booked a table at a Wetherspoons.
I saw this intentionally as well, yeah.
And Wetherspoons, I only know Wetherspoons. I think I've eaten there once.
Yeah.
But I've certainly wrestled a match in there, which is an interesting...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've won a match in a Wetherspoons. That is a rite of passage, right, in wrestling. Got to do it.
You either wrestle in a Wetherspoons or you wrestle in Wembley Stadium. Who knows? Yeah. Something else I wanted to talk about was, did everyone see the McAllister red card in the Liverpool game?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So essentially, it's one of these, when someone clears the ball and you kind of go to block it, it's one of them.
Yeah.
It's almost a weak version of one of them.
Yeah.
So his foot just touches the guy.
Yeah.
The guy jumps up, naturally in football, that's what they do. And he got straight red.
Okay.
It's now officially been rescinded.
Okay.
Which is, I'm glad. It doesn't help people's fantasy teams that got -2 with McAllister, but
doesn't help Liverpool on the day either.
It doesn't. But they still won the match.
Okay.
But in that match also, when you talk about officials, there was a penalty that Liverpool got. It is one of the worst dives.
Yeah.
And this is the question I wanted to ask was, is VAR really getting... I know they have to see a clear error, but I mean, this dive is... You can watch it once.
Yeah.
And you just go, oh my... Like, what is this?
So I don't want to be stereotypical pundit, which means obviously I'm going to be stereotypical pundit. But the problem is, and I get it, I would be the same. We're all human beings. Is that now? Imagine like if someone is calling you like an a-hole over and over and over and over and over again, and then all of a sudden you go, oh hey, person that gets called an a-hole, here's this magic video system that you can rely on all the time. You go, you know what? You deal with it.
Yeah.
Very true.
And that way, if I do make it, I don't have to get, we can put the blame on somebody else. So I don't, the term that people are using is that referees have become lazy. I don't think that's fair. I think it's self-preservation. I think it's like, I don't really enjoy how this makes me feel. Now I have this magical video system. I'm just going to go back to that all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's become so convoluted and so weird. I actually think, and I'm probably exaggerating, but it feels now they're getting more things wrong than when we didn't have VAR.
Yeah.
Because they almost think human nature, if someone gets something wrong, you go, well, it happens. You get mad, but it's human nature. But now it's a machine. How is the machine getting it wrong? And of course, actually, it's still humans because people are interpreting it the wrong way. But yeah, but the McAllister thing was nuts. I mean, it literally was like two shoes giving each other a kiss. And then it was like, right, send him off. It's like, what? That doesn't make sense. And then the penalty was nonsense. But I don't even mind. Like, if that penalty is a penalty under the new stupid rules, that's fine, right? Okay, I'll live with it. But it's not, because I saw the same thing happen throughout the weekend and people were getting booked for diving. So you're like, okay, well, which one is it? Because look, football doesn't have any integrity anyway. Let's not pretend that it does, because it doesn't. Hence why the people that won the Premier League last year have like 151 champions. But that's okay, right? That is what it is. But it makes it real harder when it's on the pitch stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, this isn't balanced. This isn't a fair game. So that's why I would much rather... It's never going to happen now. Too much money's gone in. But I'd much rather get rid of VAR and just let people make mistakes. You get over it quicker. You do, because it's just a human decision. Who cares? We'll go again next week.
Well, it's the frustration, isn't it? Like if Joe does something wrong and I go, you weren't supposed to put that there, for example, that's fine. If I then show him a video of where he did it and he still goes, no, I didn't. That's so infuriating. It's like, I can deal with you making a mistake in real time. If I keep showing you the mistake and you go, I don't think that was a mistake, that's infuriating.
But again, that's the human error coming into it, isn't it? Like,
and you said you hadn't seen the dive. I say dive. It's
I've watched it now because you're playing it.
I'm just playing it in front of him just so for a live view, Joe.
Yeah.
It's a 6-second video.
That's not a penalty, no.
He hasn't touched the guy, and it's just odd that we can watch one clip.
Yeah.
And it's not. And like you said, I think if that's a penalty, cool. If we're moving into the Arsenal Palace game in a second, they could have had a penalty late on in that game. We're going to obviously like deconstruct the game in general.
Yeah.
But they could have had a penalty late on after we'd gone down to 10 men. I think it was Eze cut in and it was Partey and Ben White came together.
Yeah.
And he went over. In all fairness, with this one's a bit more difficult. I watched it and I thought, ooh, that looks like a penalty.
In real time,
One replay and I thought, that's a dive. He should be booked.
Yeah.
I was watching this with our dad, and he just went, "There's contact though," and I couldn't see any contact, but he could see contact. So again, it does give you that idea that how VAR officials are dealing. If two people are sat in one booth, one's going no contact, one's saying contact.
Yeah,
it is hard. Obviously, as someone who isn't a big football fan might be thinking, if we can't tell if there's contact, is there enough contact to knock someone over? And I understand that because it is a bit soft.
Yeah.
But if the rules are rules and the idea is you're not supposed to put a leg in the way to stop him from getting a shot away, whether he touches him or not, it's still impeding him and you couldn't get to the ball.
It's
so I understand. It's an unfair advantage.
It's all subjective though, because I mean, I think on the first game of the season before they showed a video package of Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville going to the VAR, the new setup. They've got these brand new offices and stuff, and they gave them a trial to have a go at one of the instances. And Gary Neville instantly, within a second, pressed the red button and went, "Yeah, no, not a penalty." And then Jamie's reaction was, "Yeah, but can we look at that again, like from this angle?" And it caused like a grey area. So you're going from your gut instinct telling you one thing to another guy then putting grey area on it. And the time, I'm going to defend the VAR officials a little bit, just because of the pressure on them and the time frame they have to get this done in, because of the pressure getting put on by pundits, fans, players to get it done quickly. That's where the errors come from. Yeah, but it is a lack of consistency. I think there has to be consistency across the board, because if you're going to give one penalty in one game and not in another for something that might be very similar, that's the problem. It's game by game.
Yeah,
it has to be.
It's in the same game as well, though, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes somebody goes over pen, they get the other thing exactly the same or no pen.
Yeah.
Like, well, it makes sense now. And look, I don't mind gamemanship at all. People get so mad at gamemanship. Have you watched any sport? Have you watched boxing? Like they're secretly smacking each other's head and stuff. Like they know what they're doing. It's the same with any kind of a sport. I just think you need to be good at it. But that doesn't then all of a sudden mean, we've got to stop the game. It's nothing to do with the gamemanship, man. We just need to. Well, I would just get rid of VAR. It's such a boring thing to say. Yeah. I just go back to a human, like you said, because it's you just summed it up perfectly. Then a human can go, "What's my gut reaction? This. Oh, I got it wrong. Who cares? Who cares? It always balances itself out anyway." So
yeah. And almost if we then go on to like lose a game based on a bad decision, which we have done over the years a lot, we can then rely on that as a crutch. Because I mean, I remember back to the unbeaten season, and the reason we lost our first game was because at Old Trafford, Wayne Rooney dived over Sol Campbell, a tackle. So we stopped that historic invincible run because Wayne Rooney dived.
Yeah.
And I still rely on that to this day, because we'd be unbeaten now.
Yeah. Do you hear the passion in his voice? Because I hear this once a week. Since 2005, I've heard this.
Yes.
I agree. I was just going to bring it back to the Palace game. And Simon, you were saying the inconsistencies inside one game is the issue. And I think that's exactly what happened with the Tomiyasu red. We'll talk about the time wasting, because obviously Hodgson spoke about it. Arteta kind of spoke about it in his pep way.
He's happy.
I'm happy. I understand the second one more than the first. The time wasting one, I think, was accumulation of Arsenal time wasting. So Partey knocks the ball back onto the field 30 seconds prior, and the ref comes up as a word. Ramsdale takes 20 seconds plus on a goal kick. He has a word. The ball goes out. Martinelli grabs it for 5 seconds. Havertz holds it for 21 seconds. Passes it Tomiyasu, who runs to the ball, looks for a pass side to side, throws it as the whistle goes. And as the whistle goes, he gets booked. He took one for the team. I think it was an accumulation. It's unfortunate. The second one, I understand more, because it is a little shirt pull. It's not enough to knock someone over, but I understand letter of the law. That's fine. I can accept it. But the same guy he pulled back was Ayew, who literally got booked earlier in the game for a foul after 2 or 3. Then he fouled again, and there's still no booking. Then he broke down an attack on Saka, which was way more physical than this Tomiyasu one, literally 2 minutes prior, and nothing. And I remember at the time thinking, oh, he's going to go it. And then when the ref didn't give out, I thought, all right, fair enough. 11-11, it's nicer. And I literally in a moment thought, if he's going to officiate that, cool. 2 minutes later, he gives Tomiyasu the second yellow. And I thought, I hate this guy. What is this guy? What's his name?
Inconsistency again.
And that's what I mean. In one game, there was an inconsistency within 5 minutes. And that is crazy to me.
I can understand, though, the ref getting frustrated, because even I was getting frustrated. Like, no, but I mean...
Are you going to defend refs again?
Only because at the start of the second half, we were clearly trying to time waste from the start of the second half. And I was thinking at the time, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like, this is too early. It's taken too long, and they've got to be careful.
So I actually have some stats. Yeah, I didn't time this myself. I read it. The average throw in that game was 24 seconds to take. That was from both teams.
Yeah.
The Havertz, when the ball went out to Martinelli, to Havertz, to Tomiyasu before they took it, was 23 seconds. So it was actually less than the average of the whole game. The longest throw in the game was 48 seconds, which was a Palace one.
Okay.
And Ramsdale took 57 seconds for one goal kick in the game.
Amazing.
Which was the longest. Which is pretty much a full minute of a 90-minute game is crazy.
Yeah.
But when you look at the averages, that doesn't make sense because even if Tomiyasu took the throw, it still was the average of the whole game from both teams.
Yeah.
So that's what's odd is the refs basically going, oh, do you know what? The crowd are going up.
Yeah.
They're getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated. Here's a booking.
Yeah.
But if Palace were 1-0 up, would he have booked Tomiyasu there? Probably not, because he's thinking, game state.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested what would have happened if the game state had been different for each team. I honestly don't know. Hodgson afterwards said, I don't understand the rule. He was like, I didn't feel like they were taking a long time.
Yeah.
But, so it's never good when a losing manager says that.
This is the problem with that as well, though, because Tommy getting the yellow card doesn't actually make any sense then. He was just the last recipient of the time wasting. Because then, because that way, if he does get booked for the shirt pull later on, we'll still be a bit like, come on, but as a booking, whatever, we can move on. Whereas he wasn't. This is the problem with the time wasting. Surely the punishment is in the extra minutes you put on the game, as opposed to that's the punishment. Because I mean, you could score a goal, of course, but in this sense, the way the game played out actually would have been worse for Arsenal. Because I felt like as we edged towards, we'll call it the 90th minute. Because they were down to 10 men, all of a sudden it was like, oh man, we're holding our shape well, but of course, we're getting tired. So it's a weird one because it doesn't make any sense that you would book the last guy to pick up the ball because the whole team is time wasting. And you need like a whole team yellow card. I don't know what that means. I don't understand how that would work either. And I think it would probably be a lot worse if we had lost the game. I think that would have sparked the conversation a lot more. So I suppose in that sense, maybe it was balanced, but it's a very, very weird one. And none of the managers, well, actually, I'm in two worlds about this. None of the managers seem to be on board. But I'm also like, if you don't like it, just stop time wasting. Everyone does it. I mean, Newcastle are the kings of time wasting.
Yeah.
Look, again, if you want to do it, do it. I just think the punishment should be, well, I'm just going to keep extending this game.
Yeah.
Unless somebody, I mean, for example, that Ramsdale one, if you had told me that and he had been booked, I'd have gone, you know what, fair enough. Almost a minute. Like, you're allowed to book that guy. But if people are switching and changing the ball, I think, do you know what I think would be a better, I've just come up with this now, so there's probably going to be massive holes in it. I think a better punishment would be to say, Arsenal, I'm turning possession over. Now it's a free kick to Crystal Palace because you took too long. And that way you're not punishing a specific individual, but you have punished the team and the manager. I think that makes more sense. And just put the ball up where the throw-in would be and say you get an indirect free kick.
I think that's it. I think Wenger, a long time ago, offered that up. And also offered up, instead of throw-ins, kick-ins. So it's like a free kick on the line. And he said, if you take too long, it literally changes possession. So I think you're thinking along the same lines as the genius that is
the greatest manager of all time.
Big Wenger's done it again.
Yeah, Wenger's done it again. But it was double punishment, though, just to go back to it. Like double punishment. Like you said, Simon, the added time is the punishment.
Yeah.
Like,
the managers and the players hate this added time because they're saying there's going to be more stress injuries because injuries happen in the last 15 minutes. Yeah. It's now becoming the last 25 minutes. So
but it became double punishment because we were not just fighting against the added time now. We're fighting against added time with 10 men. Like, so it's like double punishment.
Yeah. It is also, you got to think, is the first couple of weeks has had a record amount of red cards, record amount of bookings, and a record amount of injuries.
Yeah.
So they're kind of doing, like you said, double trouble. There's more time added on. There's more bookings. There's more red cards. So they're kind of making it worse on every sense.
Yeah.
Because someone said the reason they brought this all in was because last year Arsenal City had a lot of people time wasting against them.
Yeah.
It was getting quite boring. The matches were quite boring to an extent. So what happened was they thought, all right, well, add the extra time, now add the bookings, all these kind of things. First team to be overly, not benefit from it is the team that had against it last year, which is us, which is kind of odd. But the point of all of this was because they said that the paying customer should be given more football. The last thing Mark Goldbridge tweeted, the last thing anyone wants to see is 10 versus 11. It is the most boring thing. So all they're punishing is the people that paid money to travel all this way or to pay all the money for those days. Yeah. They're like, now I've got to watch a low block for 20 minutes. And even a Palace fan doesn't want to see it because they can't break it down because now we're all sat behind the like we see it every week because Arsenal go against the low block and it's boring because you're like, just come out a little bit so we can actually see something.
And it was an exciting game up to that.
I thought it was a really good game up until that point. I thought Palace looked decent. I thought we looked good. I thought Rice.
I think unbelievable.
Oh, Rice man of the match for sure.
Yeah. That was the best I think I've seen him West Ham or Arsenal. I think that is. And he said in the post-match, he was driving there and he thought, I'm an Arsenal player. He said he spoke to Neville and Carragher and he said, I'm an Arsenal player. I'm going to have it tonight. And he said he just had this feeling like everything felt right. He said the warm-ups, he said, I just felt good.
Yeah, everything was connecting.
Everything was connecting. He said, I don't know why. I just felt, I'm going to put on a show tonight. And I like that because I think mentality-wise, that's going to help us the last 10 games of the season if we're in a title race, if we're in anything. That kind of character is going to help because obviously last year, Jesus did a podcast and he mentioned they got nervous, they got scared, and that's why they dropped off. And that's unfortunate. But I think people like Rice, he's man of the match in a Euros final. He's been man of the match in a quarterfinal of a World Cup. He was unbelievable against France. We only went out because of the 2 missed penalties from Kane. He's a big character. I think when it's those games, I think if anything, he gets more excited.
And we've lacked those characters for a while.
Yeah, they kind of go hidden, a couple of them. I think Xhaka was the opposite. I think he was similar to Rice. But I think Rice takes it another level because I think it's so positive the way he thinks. I think it's going to be so beneficial. But someone I do want to talk about because every week we're going to break down these games and we're going to talk about Saka's, I'm sure, some weeks and all these. Are we ready to have the debate of what Havertz actually does? Or are we just going to accept that he is there?
I'd love to have it, but I don't know.
Do we need more data? Like, do we need to wait 6 months?
There definitely has to be time. There definitely has to be a bedding in period for him, specifically in that position. But I want to put it on the positive side of Havertz because even since the Community Shield, I said it to Dad on the day. I like what he offers. I like that he's long, he's athletic. Like he cuts out so many balls in the middle. Like the way I see it, he cuts out the ball, Rice tidies it up, pops it to Odegaard. That's how we do turnovers. He wants some headers in that game in the middle, which we lack a little bit of height sometimes in the middle. No, I like what he offers, and I think it will take some time for people to really notice. I think you showed me a stat that he'd won 8 duels in that game, which was the highest of any player in the league. So that's the thing I think he offers. I think it's not as and
we know that Arteta likes to win his duels.
Well, we said it. I think Arteta sees him as him.
He thinks I'm looking at myself if I was 6 inches taller, and he loves it.
And I think that's exactly what Havertz offers. And I think it'll take Havertz some time to figure it out because he's obviously been like his performances haven't been pretty. Like he hasn't offered anything specifically that you'll notice, but I think he'll take some time to even pick up on what he's doing. Like I think Ozil used to do it a lot with us. He'd play a game and you'd think Ozil hasn't done much in this game. I haven't really seen him, but his stats afterwards would show you he did a lot. You just didn't really notice it. And I think that's going to be Havertz.
That's what I'm interested in. Ozil would always have like a pretty assist or a goal or something that you go, even if he wasn't in the game, you'd be like, oh, he scored though. Whereas Havertz, we haven't seen if there's a goal or an assist in him. We've just seen he works really hard. He cuts a lot out. He wins a lot of duels. That's what I mean. Like it's weird. I don't feel frustrated when I'm watching it. I don't go, oh, what is this guy? Like with Ozil, sometimes you feel I never feel frustrated with him, but I never feel like he's making our team tick or anything. So I don't know.
My big worry, I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit, is this is exactly how people at Chelsea used to describe him. Like, word for word, this is what people used to say. And it didn't really work out. Now, I agree with you totally. I think my worry is when we lose a game and we look at his stats, are we actually going to go, oh man, he just shut off for whatever reason? I hope I'm wrong. Like, genuinely, I think it's way too early to judge him. I also think we're taking the stigma from Chelsea and we're putting it on him, as of course we would do. That's just the nature of the beast. It's like Haaland. Haaland doesn't score in the Community Shield. Oh, he's lost it. You know what I mean? It's just because people are taking in, people have now decided he's a flat trap bully. It's like, stop it now. Please. I'm not buying that. And I think it's, Havertz is suffering from that post last season syndrome or whatever it would be. But I do think at the moment when, look at all the new players that came in, I get that, we're going to put that there. This makes sense. At the moment, I'm like, this has come so out of left field. And I kind of feel like we're moving other people around to benefit Havertz. However, if all of a sudden it clicks, then it's going to be wonderful. And as we always said, we said it before, we'll say it again. You look at his Germany numbers, dude's got it down, right? The dude has it absolutely down. So there is a player in there. I just hope that it's not a mental thing. Like you just mentioned Rice being like, oh, here we go, because he's just come from winning the Europa Conference League. Whereas Havertz has come from a team that is still in disarray. You know, even Pochettino said that. You know, we've got to change everything here. And so if he does get any criticism, as you would do, you'd be like, oh man, here we go again. And I hope he doesn't sort of shy away from himself.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the moment, it's 2 for 2, right? And he's played both games. So someone is doing their job correctly.
Well, like you say, I think the most frustration I get from any kind of football game, like losing doesn't necessarily frustrate me. It's when you see the players' shoulders go down or they check out, like Chelsea did at the weekend. Yeah. As soon as they were losing, you saw that they were very inexperienced and their shoulders dropped. Everyone just looked frustrated. And that's the last thing I ever want to see from our players. Yeah. Like win, lose, whatever. Like as long as they're still in the game and they understand, that's all I ask.
Yeah, it's tough as well, because you were mentioning as well, they're kind of cramming Havertz in, it feels like. Like he desperately wants him in. And there's been a knock-on effect all the way down to the defense of Gabriel. The reason Gabriel's not in, supposedly could be transfer rumors. It could be a knock. I think it is. He wants Partey, he wants Rice, he wants Havertz, he wants Eddie. They want them all playing. You can't play them all. So he's had to get rid of a centre-back. So he's kind of forced it. And I don't know if that system's necessarily working. So what we'll do is we'll have a small little break. And then on the other end of the break, we're going to talk about Fulham that's next. Some of the relationships between like the pockets in the team and seeing if we can get Gabriel back in. Yeah. Especially with the Tomiyasu suspension. And then we're going to get to our Premier League predictions, and I'll let you know who won week 1. Yeah. Before we get out of it. But we'll see you on the other side of the break. Welcome back to the Gunners R Us podcast, where we're positively Arsenal. And it turns out in the first part, Joe is positively an official, a David Coote fanboy, or he might even be a VAR official. I don't know.
Come on, I'm playing devil's advocate. Devil's advocate is the most fun game you can play.
Stand up for the referees. That's how positive we are.
Simon, don't join him. So in this half, we're going to talk a bit about the game coming up. I think it's this Saturday, 3:00, against Fulham at the Emirates, at the carpet, as people is becoming normal vernacular now.
Yeah, that's a fun game.
And we're going to talk about like maybe what we think the lineup's going to be. Some of the, I think, big part is the relationships. I think since we've moved Havertz into the team, we've kind of shoehorned it back. Gabriel is out.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem right. Just on the visual test.
Yeah.
The results are fine. The visual just feels a bit like janky.
It's unbalanced. It's unbalanced. I mean, we're playing with a back four that is all predominantly right-footed. I noticed that a lot when the ball went to Tomiyasu. He'd had to take a minute to switch foot just to play a pass. It slowed everything down a lot.
Which is odd because Arteta's been obsessed with having a left-sided, left-footed centre-back. He got Pablo Mari. He didn't like that. He went and got Gabriel. Now he's got Gabriel. He was like, do you know what? I need a centre midfielder at right back.
But obviously, with the Partey at right back, he clearly was doing that so Partey can just invert on attack, basically.
That's again, it, isn't it? It breaks up on attack, doesn't it? So he just moves into the midfield.
And I think that's what it is.
Bizarre system.
Yeah, because with Zinchenko, it was fine. And the relationship, Zinchenko to Xhaka to Martinelli last year was unbelievable. And last year, I think our best relationship is the right side, which is White, Odegaard, and Saka.
Yeah.
When they get the ball together, and I think there was a portion in the first half where Rice almost pushed out to the right and Partey stepped in the centre back.
Yeah.
So much happened in about 3 minutes, and then they moved back and it stopped happening. And I thought those relationships are so integral.
Yeah.
And not just that, I think Arteta's mentioned he wants more relationships. He doesn't want to rely on, if these three don't play together, we can't create anything. Yeah. So I think he's using these almost as preseason games.
Yeah.
Sounds bad. He's edging out points, but he's also forming new relationships that will take a little bit of teething and just a bit of time. But I do think with the Tomiyasu suspension, we're kind of running out of right-sided, things. So I think naturally what will happen here is Zinchenko is going to come in. I thought he was awesome when he came on.
Ball retention.
The ball retention with him and Jorginho, it made my heart stop beating so fast just for 2 minutes. But I think Zinchenko comes back in, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White at right back. And I think at the Emirates, I think he might go with Partey having a rest. Because Partey played a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
Right back is no easy feat for a 30-year-old.
No, not.
Especially when he's inverting. He was overlapping at times. I thought he started shaky. I thought he got really good by the end. I think give him a rest. Rice comes back into 6, which he played the other night. Zinchenko's the inverted one. And then you play Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Eddie. And I think we get back to kind of what we did last year. Normality, yeah. So it's essentially the same team from last year, but Rice is where Partey was and Havertz is where Xhaka was.
Well, I'm excited to see what Havertz has to offer now if he can formulate a
Zinchenko, I think Zinchenko is going to open up Havertz. If Zinchenko can't open up Havertz, it might not happen ever. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you think Trossard comes in? Do you think there's a big change? Do you think Galaxy Brain, El Nani plays right back? What's going to happen?
Yeah. I think the big change does come, and you said, with the back four or the defence. And I think we should do that too, because Fulham haven't come out the gates, rocking and rolling. We're at the Emirates where we're pretty good, or very, very good. So you don't need to, I don't know if it's a fail-safe, so to speak, but you don't need to do it now. And again, if we are going to rotate the team, which is the whole point of buying all these players, and of course, at one point, if the right bid came in, Partey was going to leave. So clearly had a plan on paper if that was going to happen. I absolutely think you rotate him out and try that system, especially against a team that we should beat either way. Yeah. So I definitely think we should do that. Did you hear the story about White as well that Holding told?
I did.
Last year, he had a ruptured hamstring. Just went flub it, and he just played through the pain. So
there's a grade 3 tear apparently.
Honestly, amazing, absolutely amazing. So if that's the kind of mentality, then the good news is, if you're happy to play through that kind of a pain, I actually don't think it matters if you're being played out of position. You must have bought into some kind of rhetoric, so that's good. But here, like you said, I would go back to Arsenal of last year, for lack of a better term, and I would keep getting Eddie minutes, because I think that's the only way he's going to find. I think he's really good and he works his socks off, and I'm such a big fan of his. But he just needs that first goal, and then I think they'll all start coming, which is awesome, because then when Jesus comes back, maybe sometimes you start Eddie and you bring Jesus on. But the point is you have a goal machine there, which is what we don't have, and we're clearly not going to buy a striker, right? That's not happening. There is no striker coming through the door. So, I don't want anyone to get injured. But it's a bit like weird segue. Like Mount's just announced that he's injured for at least 2 games up to the international break for United. I think it's going to help them, because him and Fernandes were cancelling each other out a lot. So I actually think that's going to help them. I think this can help us too, where we get Eddie up to speed, prove that we have faith in you. Then Jesus can come back in, but it's okay, because then we can start doing that with the front line. We're doing it with the back line. We have all the midfielders. We do it with the goalkeepers. So I think that's massively important. So, and Fulham have proven that they are not actually weak at the back, but they just have been for the past 2 games. Yeah. So let Eddie get a couple, and then, I think that will actually put us in good stead going forward.
Yeah, Eddie does need his confidence up. I said it to Scott after the Palace game. I know we've been saying it for a little while now, but he's a couple clinical finishes away from being world class.
I agree. I think
everything else he offers is ridiculous. Like, I don't know what it is about. We say this a lot about Arsenal players. They don't tend to get the plaudits they deserve sometimes. Like, everyone always talks about these new young players coming through for like Chelsea, teams like that.
Perfect example is Nicholas Jackson.
Yeah, they get picked for their countries. For whatever reason, Eddie, no matter how hard he works and how good he is, because he does get goals, no one ever talks about him. Like, he has played for, I guess, not the main England team yet, but he has played for like the younger version of the England team.
He's the top goal scorer of all time in the under-21.
Yeah, exactly. But no one talks about it. So I think in the Premier League, like you say, he's a few clinical finishes away. In that Palace game specifically, if he'd finished a couple of those, we'd all be talking about him.
VAR post, hit something.
Yeah, he hit the post, and then one of them, he kind of... The second one was harder. It was a great chance, but the goalie came out. He tried to chip him. It went over. But
only just.
That's right. It went on top of the net.
Yeah. So, but again, he was the one who was thinking quick and caused the penalty.
He's always in the right position. He's like Ian Wright in that sense. He's always in the right position. Always.
Yeah. And I think, like we said, he'll score more than Jesus if he's in the team. The team doesn't play as well as when Jesus is in the team. So you kind of gain stuff and you lose stuff from.
That's what you want, though, right? That's the whole point, I think, of this whole idea that Arteta's come up with. That's it. What do we need right now? Well, everyone's ready to go, so we'll just shove the right bodies in. So I'm going to put a bet on this weekend. I'm going to get Nketiah to score first. I'm going to do it. I'm going to this man.
I think maybe we should have a little everyone has a one bet you can follow. Yeah, and Simon's is Eddie to score first.
Yeah.
A couple of things with Fulham is they have Tim Ream out, which is their main centre back. He's suspended. And obviously with Mitrovic.
Team, right?
There you go. At least you know now. Then also Mitrovic is gone. And again, he is the guy that I would be most worried about playing.
Yeah.
They've got Traore now. They've got a very good midfielder in Paulinho.
Yep.
But I have heard from some Fulham-based Twitters and stuff, they're saying that he might have a knock. Fantasy Football doesn't believe he has a knock, which is usually where I go to for my injury news. But Fulham fans have said he might not be playing. If he were to be missed, Tim Ream to be missed, and Mitrovic is gone, that spine on us at like fully functioning with Zinchenko back in the team, it has to be a win. We're backing out with the Man United game the week later at Emirates again.
Yep.
If somehow we can get to this international break 12 out of 12, I think that's a very good start considering the amount of changes we've done.
Yeah.
But I really would love to see a 3 or 4-0 win. Something, a really sunny Saturday at the Emirates, clear win.
Statement.
Because the general consensus, if you haven't watched the games, is that the Forest game was a tight affair. It ended like that. But I think for 70 minutes, I think we were as good as I've seen us for a long time.
Well, I think that's the problem with both games, is that we were in control for the majority, and then something happened in the last 15 minutes where all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute. We're like the antithesis of Man City, where all of a sudden it just completely switches. And that's what we need to stop, because it's awesome to watch, but it will go wrong eventually. It just does. Like, football doesn't let you get away with that.
No. It's like The Office, isn't it? Like, it's calm, and then it's like, it's happening. We might win. Because first week we had Timber's injury that kind of took all the momentum out of the game, and then second time was the Tomiyasu red. I don't know what it's going to be this week.
It's a weird pattern.
Arteta might run onto the field. I genuinely don't know. Like, something's going to disrupt.
No one's obeying that technical area law, are they? Everyone's in it. Everybody.
I don't know, but I do feel confident about the game this week. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I obviously can't really watch it because of the blackout in the UK. But hey, if you search it on Twitter, you usually find a game. So
definitely watch the highlights straight away.
Yeah, exactly. I tell you what, I didn't realize until recently, it was just how quick YouTube get highlights up of the Premier League games.
Yeah.
Like I saw, I think it was last week. It was like 5:30, and there was all these like 4-minute highlights of the 3:00s, and I was like, God, this is quick. Like, destroys match of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, big time.
Don't have to listen to Danny Murphy.
Yeah. If Gary Lineker hasn't put his opinion on it, doesn't count though, does it?
That's very true. I'll wait until 10:30 to do it. What we'll do then, Simon, do you have any predictions in front of you, like in like the fixtures, or do you want me to grab the fixtures?
I can get the fixtures up.
Cool. So I think what we'll do is we'll kind of work our way through all of them. I'll let you know that last week we didn't do predictions because we didn't do a podcast because we were waiting for iTunes, not me, technically.
No, it was definitely Apple.
I appreciate you, Simon. I've got it in front. In the first week, Joe got 4 out of 10 fixtures correct.
Oh,
good.
Simon got 5 out of 10 fixtures. And I got 6.
Oh,
damn.
So technically I won the first week, but I think we'll also I'll keep a tally in front of us of how many games in general, because if Joe wins one week with 10 out of 10 and we get 4 out of 10, that might swing throughout the year. So I'll keep an eye on who wins each week and who wins each fixture.
Now I've started betting as well. I need to follow your suit. I'm listening to your bets now.
I'm going to be honest. I got 6 out of 10. If I'd done an accumulator 6 out of 10, I'd have been very happy with that.
You won a lot of money.
So, all right, where are we going to start?
Chelsea Luton, surely, on the Friday.
Oh, of course. Ooh. Okay. Last time we kind of rattled through these. I think we can take a couple of minutes just on each if we're happy to. I'm going to go with a Chelsea win because that's what's supposed to happen. I'm desperately excited to watch it for the opposite to happen. So I'm going to go Chelsea win.
I'm going to go for a draw, which sounds boring, but I'm going for a 2-2 draw. That's right.
Ooh,
I don't think Chelsea are going to be able to handle Luton just booting the ball up and elbowing them in the face. But they don't really have any like warriors in their team anymore. Do you remember Chelsea always used just to be like big lads? They don't really have that anymore. And Luton are just big lads. So I think it's going to be a 1-1 or a 2-2. But yeah, I'm going for a draw.
Do you know what? Just to play devil's advocate, because that's my character on this podcast, it seems. I'm going to say, based off of the way Chelsea lost confidence very quickly in that West Ham game, I'm going to go a Luton win.
Yes.
Wow.
A big Friday night Luton win at Stamford Bridge.
Okay. I respect it. So I was just writing that down.
Quick.
What we got next, Simon?
Bournemouth Spurs. Bournemouth at home.
I'm So I have this theory on certain bet with a lot of betting talk.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we could get a betting sponsor because that'd be ideal.
Just start doing our own odds.
Yeah.
Give us a free bet.
I'd say nice. Pat McAfee always does a parlay every week, which we'd call like essentially accumulator, isn't it? A parlay's kind of accumulator.
Yeah.
He does one and everyone kind of follows it and they see if they all win money together kind of thing. Maybe every week we could throw a little accumulator at the end, like a 5-fold that we think's good. And whoever's listening, you could also throw your money away because we're about to. This to me is 100% money I'd put £2 on this.
Yeah.
Comfortably.
Wow. Big one.
Yeah. Because Bournemouth at home against Spurs. That Spurs are Arsenal 10 years ago. This is the game we would lose. So that's the ethos in my head. So I'm going to go Bournemouth win.
Okay.
I'm going to be the worst person ever. I'm going to go with a Spurs win. I'm worried they've got confidence because they have done well in both their games. Well for where they currently are. You lose probably the best striker on the planet. You lose the person that held your team together last year, and somehow you're still getting points. I think all of a sudden now everyone's going to be like, "Oh, wait a minute, we can do this."
Yeah,
and I think Richarlison's going to score as well. I don't think it's going to be a massive.
You said that was such a sadness. I think you said that last time as well. Richarlison's going to score.
But this is the problem. I think he's going to start scoring. It's going to happen eventually. Yeah, and then it's going to be like, "Oh, great! Now they've got another one." I mean, he's not as good as Kane, but he's a decent player.
Yeah.
And I actually think Bournemouth are pretty good, but I don't think they've. I can't remember the manager's name. He looks actually quite decent, but I don't think they haven't bought into whatever he's selling yet. I think they will, but it may be a little bit too late. It's definitely too late at the moment, I think. So I think it's going to be like 1-0 Tottenham, and that makes me sad. But yeah, Tottenham.
I'm going to play devil's advocate once again.
You don't have to.
No, I like my odds.
The DA is back.
I'm going to go a draw, just because I feel like this Tottenham. This Tottenham team tend to play for draw. Well, it doesn't seem like they're playing for a draw, but I feel draws with them. And I think, like you say, with Bournemouth, they're not quite there yet, but the manager does seem decent. This could be a good proving ground for them. And I do feel like this is going to be a draw. I'm going to say 0-0.
Okay. I appreciate that.
I'll do my predict 6 or whatever it is, Super 6. I'll make sure I need to log these.
Yeah, because Bournemouth so far have collected a point. So they've scored 2 goals, they've conceded 4, but they did play at Anfield, in all fairness, last week. So it's hard to kind of gauge. And there were some dodgy decisions in that game. So I don't know. I think they could do it. I don't know. I'm sticking with it. Yeah.
Fixture of the weekend: Brentford, Crystal Palace.
So I thought Palace looked neat and tidy.
Yeah,
it's the attacking threat. I don't know if like Edouard, Jordan Ayew, and Schlupp being their front three isn't the best. I think Eze's amazing. I think when Elise comes back, who signed that new deal, I think there will be good.
Back, Elise?
I think it's a couple months. I think it's a couple months. Yeah. But I think once they've got that all going, and if they do make a signing, because that's the perfect team to go get like a Balogun or someone. I think Balogun's going to end up at a bigger team. But I don't know, it's someone like that on the market. I think you've got to go after it because I think that Palace team with a world-class striker, I think really could be breaking into that top 10. So I'm gonna go Brentford just because I do think I just said all that and I was like, I'm gonna go Brentford. I think Brentford will win maybe 2-1, a tight game.
Yeah, I think Brentford are going to win. I watched the Fulham game, the highlights anyway.
Yeah,
and they just look really good. And I think they've come together with the whole Tony situation. I don't think that bother them at all. I think Thomas Frank is a brilliant manager. But 2-0, 2-1, absolutely. But Brentford for sure. Yeah,
I'm gonna go draw. Only because I'm enjoying this devil's advocate thing. And also I lost last week, so I'm just trying to
make some points back.
Yeah, I could do really badly off of this, or I could come out top. But I think what you said about Crystal Palace, they are lacking that big force up top. I think the commentators mentioned it on Monday. They're not since they had Benteke. They haven't had that force target up top. So I think they are lacking that, and I do think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a good game. It'll be a good one to watch, but I'll go draw.
Okay.
Everton Wolves.
Oh, that's a game that doesn't pique any interest for me.
Honestly, here's the problem with that game, right? When I was doing my accumulator and my betting, my Super 6 last week, and it was Wolves Brighton. After seeing that performance against Man United, I'm like, Wolves going to nick this, and everyone's going to be like, I can't believe it, smashed 4-0. They're not there yet.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I think Wolves have looked much better than Everton all season, 2 games.
Yeah.
Even with the loss, I think Wolves they're clearly a better side than Everton, But Everton are one of these teams that when they play at home, things happen. The crowd do things. It's either that or the crowd turn on them early and they lose.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Everton first win of the season for Everton.
I'm going to be boring. I'm going to go for a draw. I think Everton are now terrified. I think Wolves will be terrified because they both got thumped last week. And I think if they both walk away with a point, they'll be like, actually, you know what? Right now, we'll take it. I want to point out, random one. I feel really sorry for Calvert-Lewin.
Same.
I hate it when people jump. Do you think he stood there going, "Oh yeah, injure me, please"? No one right now is sadder than Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah,
like it's just not. He'd be, of course, he'll be. I know he puts on a brave face, but he's a human being. So I think it's awful. But I'm gonna go for a draw. Yeah, 1-1. Maybe actually no, probably 0-0. If I'm totally honest.
I won't be watching this YouTube
goal scorer. Wolves have got anyone to score goals.
That's a problem.
I'm going to go Wolves 1-0 win.
Of course you are, yeah.
No, I do. I was very impressed with the way Wolves performed against Man United. Obviously, last week they came up against a very organised Brighton team. But I think with that setup that Wolves have, the manager, the energy of the players, they all seem to want to win.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of what happened at Brighton last week.
And Neto's the danger man, isn't he? Like, if anything's going to happen, it's got to be
There's
Neto.
a lot of danger there. And like you say, Calvert-Lewin's out now. I'm going to go Wolves. I'm going to go Wolves 1-0.
Cool.
Man United, Nottingham Forest.
Ooh. Okay.
See, I think this might be the toughest one of the weekend to pick.
Yeah.
I think Forest are big and strong. Like, against us, they really imposed themselves later on in the game.
Yeah.
And then in last week, winning at home to Sheffield United, it was a tough game, but they got there in the end. Mm-hmm. They started so badly last year, Forest, but this year, kind of 3 points out of the first 2 games is good for that type of team.
Yeah.
Man United looks so bad.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it.
I'm actually going to go draw.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Nottingham Forest because I watched that Spurs United game and talked to my United friends and even they were like, "What the flub is this?
Yeah.
This sucks."
Yeah.
But also, and I don't want to get into it too much because I know we're focusing on the football. I think Man United right now are in a state of disrepair with all this Mason Greenwood stuff.
I know.
Yeah. Terribly. I think it's despicable. Again, different conversation for a different day, right?
Yeah.
But I think that has run through the whole squad. I really, really do. I don't see how it can't. Even the people, again, I'm not, this is not my vantage point, but I'm sure there's people on that team that thought he was coming back and now he's not. And so now they're like, well, what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And given that it already feels like it's disarray and they don't have a striker, at least Rashford, wants to play on the left and they keep playing him through the middle, which I get because the other guy's not ready. I think Nottingham Forest could nick a goal. And I think Nottingham Forest, again, will be buoyed by their last 2 performances.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. They're a pretty good team. So I'm going to go Nottingham Forest.
I think it's tough as well because when you think of Wolves just happily ran through the middle of Man United. And so did Tottenham. Like Maddison's not the fastest player and he was just leaving them in his dust.
Yeah.
I think weirdly, Mount not playing, this sounds bad because I think Mount's a good player, will help Man United because it means they'll have to bring in a McTominay to sit next to Casemiro, which means he won't get isolated the way he has been. Bruno then could potentially stay higher, create more chances. And at the end of the day, people like Rashford now, they will score.
Yeah.
So I think it might help them just to get a bit of stability because, they've got 3 points from possible 6.
Yeah.
It's not the worst start. They had a way worse start last year.
Yeah.
They came good. But I just think they've just tried too hard to play attacking players and they're leaving a 31-year-old Casemiro to just hold. And he's making some, he's making some odd decisions. Like he's jumping into tackles on the edge of their box and just leaving nothing back. So
don't forget when they bought him based on his Real Madrid stuff, right?
Yeah.
And don't forget that midfield was Casemiro, Cruz, and
Modric. Yeah.
So they basically played the same position. I mean, they didn't, but there was like that. They didn't leave that center. They just stayed in the center of the pitch. They just ping boys around.
Yeah.
And that's what he's brought him in to do. But you haven't got the other 2 players. Yeah. And that's the problem with having Mount there. It's like, well, that doesn't really. That's not the. Anyway.
Well, Bruno and Mount are similar, almost like Aaron Ramsey used to be for us. Yeah. He's a centre midfield player, but it's nicer if you play him out wide or something, just so you can have more defensive minded in the middle, but you have more attackers out wide. So like Bruno and Mount on the wings either side of like a Rashford.
Yeah.
And then having 3 more defensive-minded players seems like probably similar to how Liverpool used to do it. They never had a number 10. Now they have 3 number 10s playing in midfield, Liverpool, but they had like 3 like Henderson, Fabinho, and like Wijnaldum.
Yeah,
they're all defensively minded, but they allowed the wingers to do all the jobs and the fullbacks.
They kind of acted like an engine in the middle of the field.
Whereas United, it's just empty. So that's why I'm going draw. What are you going for?
I think a lot of that, like from the Wolves game, like there was a lot of still images of when Wolves had possession and there was such big gaps between them and the Man United midfield. They could just play through. But like you say, I think with the balance that I think they're going to find this weekend now that Mount is out. I think that's going to be the balance that they were missing. So I'm going to go Man United.
Okay.
Yeah, Devil's advocate once again.
So by the way, 5 games. We've agreed on one. No worries. We'll get back to those fixtures in a moment. What we'll do is I'll grab the next fixture.
Yeah.
In reality, Simon has been waiting for a delivery, so he is waiting for that now. We'll move on to Brighton versus West Ham. So I know West Ham had a great fixture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Brighton. I think I'm a big fan of Brighton. I think they're just a very good team.
Yeah.
I think West Ham Chelsea, I think they find that easier to win a game like that at home against a big club like Chelsea better than if West Ham, for example, were home to Forest.
Yeah.
I think they'd struggle more with Forest because I think they're the type of team that gets up for big games.
Yeah.
Brighton away, I think not many teams are going to win at Brighton. I think it's going to be City and then maybe one other. I don't think West Ham are that team.
No.
So for me, it's got to be a Brighton win for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think West Ham at home against like Chelsea does always bring out passion in the crowd. Like there is an atmosphere there, which they have managed to create at their new stadium as well.
Yeah.
But like you say, going up against a very organized Brighton side, I don't think they're going to find their footing quite the same.
Yeah.
So I think, like I'm going to a lot this season, I'm going to have to back Brighton in that one.
Mm-hmm. Simon, we're on Brighton versus West Ham. Where do you see that going?
Yeah, I'm going Brighton. I bet against them once. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
I think Brighton will go into the. I don't even know who Brighton are playing next week. Brighton will go into the international break with a full house. They're that team this year. There's always one. They are that team.
I don't see them slowing down. That's the scary part. They're just such a well-run team. I'm just not sure. That's the first game where we all agreed on, and it's Brighton, so it's quite telling, really.
Yeah,
I was just trying to see what their fixture was next week. They're home to Newcastle.
Oh wow!
Before the international break.
They'll beat them.
It's weird,
isn't
it?
Next week.
Cool. So after Simon, are you back on the fixtures?
Yes. So we'll do Arsenal last, obviously, but we're moving on to the Sunday fixtures now. So we've got Burnley, Aston Villa.
Okay.
That I tell you what, that's got a draw written all over it. But I don't know if I'm going to go a draw. I need to think about it. Burnley have had a week off. I thought they actually looked very dangerous against City. It wasn't just a neat and tidy performance.
Yeah.
They created a lot of chances against a very defensive-minded City.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to create a lot of chances. I think Villa might be a little suspect, as Newcastle showed defensively, but Villa are going to score. It could be a high-score draw. It could be maybe a 3-2 Villa.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go draw, I think. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it might be the game of the weekend, weirdly. What do you think?
I think Villa may have found themselves after that capitulation on day one.
Yeah.
Burnley, I still think are warming up. I think they're a very good team. Burnley, they're like they're like Luton Part 2 in the sense they're still playing the same football they were in the Championship. It's just a better brand of football, depending on what you like. I quite like Luton's smashing style. I think it's quite fun. But I think because Villa need to get points on the board because of that first game, I think that first game is going to do them the world of good. That Newcastle smashing, I really, really do. I think they're going to go there and win. I think it'll be 2-1 Villa.
Okay.
What are you going, Joe?
I'll just say a little thing about Burnley as well, because I've been very negative about Burnley in the past seasons.
It's a very different Burnley, isn't it?
This Burnley I'm very excited about. I never used to look forward to Burnley games. There was always kind of like a sad...
Turf Moor is like Stokes ground to me.
It felt like a roast dinner on a wet day. Like going to Burnley before.
It's like an Avril Lavigne song.
Yeah.
But no, this Burnley, since they've turned it around with company in charge, they've branded themselves completely differently now. It's a lot of young, hungry players. JJ Watt's involved. Big shout out to JJ Watt, big Texans fan. I think Burnley are very good. I did go Villa Newcastle draw early on because I did assume Newcastle were being Aston Villa were being very defensive. But I think with this game, I'm going to have to go. This is going to be a good, solid home Burnley win, I think.
Okay.
Especially with Mings being out now as well. It's changed a lot.
So a big Burnley win.
Yeah.
Next fixture.
Which brings us to, I'm just going to say Sheffield United, Man City. Next. There wasn't even the point of talking about it. It's a waste of my time.
I'm going to City.
Yeah, I'm going to go City as well. I think that's going to be way too much for Sheffield United going.
Yeah. I think, do you know what? No, I'm not even going to talk about it. What's next?
There's no point because we'll say something dumb.
Yeah.
Any kind of critical stuff with Man City just lures you into saying something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every time. Because you always think, the rules are going to come off. They don't.
No.
And they won't now. Pep's had back surgery. They're all going to be, do it for Pep, do it for Pep. We're all boned. We're all totally screwed.
Cool.
So 2 more. Obviously, the last one being Arsenal. This is interesting. I did not know this was this weekend. Super Sunday. Newcastle versus Liverpool at St James's Park.
Good game. So I'm off the bat. I'm going to go Newcastle. The reason being, Liverpool are playing 3 number 10s in midfield.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to go well with a high energy, quality Newcastle team. This could be the week that the first talk of Klopp out starts coming up. I think he's in such a transition. Unless he gets a centre midfielder over the line, they could be in real trouble until January. So I've got to go Newcastle here.
Yeah.
Yep. Newcastle 2-1.
Yeah, I think with that midfield, it's too unbalanced one-on-one. Like Liverpool's midfield is Liverpool's midfield is super unbalanced, but Newcastle's midfield is just purring. So I can't see anything other than Newcastle win.
And here we go.
Arsenal Fulham.
The huge game, the big 3:00 at the carpet, the biggest game of the weekend. I'm going to go Arsenal for the reasons I said earlier. I think it might be the first week we get that back 5 that we had last year.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe the game for Havertz coming out party a little bit with Zinchenko linking up. I'd love to see Trossard play a bit more. I know Martinelli was the one thinking quick for that penalty.
And he's been very good so far, Martinelli as well.
But I don't know. I just think maybe this is the week with Trossard. I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal.
I mean, you've taken the words out of my mouth. I think 3-0 Arsenal. I can see Fulham maybe getting a goal. Like, they're not so bad. And I think Arsenal sometimes do take their foot off the gas in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to panic at some point.
Yeah, something weird's going to happen 3/4 of the way through.
Exactly. But I don't think, I think it's going to be it's okay, as opposed to, oh my gosh. So I'll go just for change. I'll go 3-1, but I think Arsenal win, and I think it should be comfortable. If we lose to Fulham, no disrespect to Fulham, that's not a great result. Just because at the moment, again, they haven't found their feet either. No. We probably haven't either, but there's just no way we should lose this, given what our expectations are for the year.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4-0 Arsenal. Like I think the level we're at now, and the fact that people are starting to notice, the commentators put us over heavily in the Crystal Palace game. And that's such a breath of fresh air because it feels like we get overlooked a little bit. Yeah. I think this is going to be the game that is going to make people look at the scores who aren't watching the games and go, oh, shoot, like Arsenal really are a problem. Yeah. Like, because if they're not watching the Arsenal game and you see 4-0 on paper, I think that's going to be the outcome of the game.
Oh, yeah. I just hope so. Like, at the end of the day, this is the Gunners Are Us podcast. It is positively Arsenal. And I really hope it's going to be a good win. I'd love to start strong just to kind of take a little pressure off because, you get one loss here or a draw, all of a sudden next week's fixture against United, it's like, if we draw this, we've only got 8 points from a possible whatever, and it's just, it starts panicking.
I think City and Brighton are going into that international break with 12 points. I think we need to do the same. We've got to do the same. I really think that. Yeah,
because no doubt, I don't know when we're playing. I think we're playing City 12th-ish, 13th maybe of October.
Yeah.
So it's not long after that international break, and if we're 6 points off them already, that win could be a 9 points, and it could become a problem. Again, we've spoken off the podcast about our predictions for the season, and we spoke about it last week on the podcast. I think even if we're in that top 4 race, I'd love to just be in it at the end. So like last year, it was so much fun. So hopefully that'll be. But what will be back next week is the Gunners Are Us podcast, because hopefully there's no more technical issues. Hopefully the audio has been a lot nicer, because last week I'm going to hold my hands up for that part. I messed up that. But this podcast should be going up every Wednesday/Thursday. I'm still leaving that caveat until I can guarantee that I can do it. But we'll be back next week. How are you guys feeling?
I'm pumped. I'm ready. I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't believe we got this forum as well, because like last season was such a ride. And I'm so glad we now get to properly share it with Simon Miller. Because, I mean, we only ever got to talk about it at the shows we were on every now and then. But now that we have this platform, we get to check in with you. We obviously chat in the WhatsApp. But I'm holding a lot of stuff back now in the WhatsApp just so that we can do this and properly unleash.
It's been a joy. It's been a joy. Like, I've wanted to do something like this for ages. Never really found the right, platform to do it, because YouTube's a very precarious thing and you really have to focus on, one lane. It's just the way that it works. So the fact that we do have this now, I think it rocks. I'm very excited about what we can do with it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing. Cool. And this is the second week, so it'll get better and better each week. But we will see you next Wednesday/Thursday for the Gunners Are Us podcast, and we will definitely be positively Arsenal.
Come on, Arsenal.